Hello, everybody. I'm Jerry Willis. Today was the day that showed us how this economic debate will play out in the election as President Obama and Mitt Romney offered what they would do to grow the economy in battleground Ohio. All this as new economic data show just how stuck our economy really is, causing the Dow to soar up triple digits as speculation is building. The Federal Reserve has no choice but to step in with stimulus. With us now, Dan Mitchell, a senior fellow of the Cato Institute, Hadley Heath, a senior policy analyst for the Independent Women's Forum, and Wayne Kaufman, chief market analyst for John Thomas Financial. Hadley, I want to start with you. So tell me, who lived up to expectations today and who didn't?
Well, over past weeks, polling has indicated that more Americans trust Romney than Obama in terms of economic policy, direction of the economy. But you got to remember, don't forget from 2008 what a strong communicator President Obama is. And when it comes time to give these speeches and have these national debates, buckle up, because we've got another 4.5 months of this. And I think President Obama is really going to be able to connect with a lot of voters in spite of the fact that his record on the economy isn't something to brag about.
Dan, was there a clear winner?
I think they fought to a draw. I thought the most interesting political news was that poll showing that 2/3 of voters still blamed Bush, even though more than half of them also blamed Obama. So as we go get closer to November, especially if the economy's weak, it's going to be a big-time blame game.
Wayne, what economic policies does Wall Street want to hear?
Well, Wall Street, for the sake of the stock market, Wall Street would love to see more stimulus, because that money works its way into the market, doesn't necessarily help the economy. Unfortunately, Bernanke, he himself was pleading with Congress, to me it was pleading, to do something because the Fed can only do so much. He said that they're seeing diminishing returns from what they're doing. And low interest rates aren't the problem. So lowering interest rates, just what is that going to do at this point?
Well, let me tell you, Romney had lots of ideas what the problems were. Here's Romney today.
Did the president's policies make things better or worse for getting jobs? Let's just go through them one by one. That stimulus didn't work. That stimulus didn't put more private sector people to work. How about Obamacare? The president said the other day that he didn't know that Obamacare was hard for small business. Oh, really?
Dan, agree or disagree?
I think he's making some very good points, because Obama's stimulus, which is really just more government spending, diverted resources from the productive sector of the economy. And there's no question that Obamacare, especially with all the taxes to finance it, is going to be an additional burden on the private sector of the economy. We should have actually learned from the Bush years that making government bigger doesn't work. And Obama, instead of changing things, he sort of doubled down on all the statism and the intervention and the regulation and the spending. And I think we're suffering as a result. We're making America more like Europe.
Hadley, your opinion?
Well, every time I talk to people in the business community, it doesn't matter if they have a large firm or a small firm, they mention 3 things on their wish list for making job creation easier. They say we need regulatory reform, we need tax reform, and we need to get rid of Obamacare. So those are the things that job creators say are really holding them back, because those things are raising the cost of employment. They're making it harder for people to understand how to comply with the many rules and regulations. So if we really want to move ahead with job creation and have a real boost for our economy, we have to look at those things.
Wayne, does Hadley have it right?
I think that most people can't really discuss these issues. I don't want to use the phrase more intelligent. Certain informed people know the issues, but I think everybody knows that Obama is for big government and control of the economy. And Romney is a nuts and bolts guy financially, and he digs into things and fixes them. I think everybody knows that. The problem is people respond to how much pain they are in, and as they have more and more pain economically, that's when Romney has a better chance, and that's why I think he's going to win. But I don't think the average person really can discuss these issues.
Well, I think the average person can discuss these issues, and I discuss them every day, but...
You're not the average. You're far from the average person.
Well, you may think that, but I don't see it that way. Dan, let me go to you. Economic proposals. It's interesting to me how many people disapprove of both candidates. Disapproval rating for Romney on his economic proposals, 47%, Obama, 54%. What do you say?
I think there's a lot of disenchantment by the American people, because this entire century They've had politicians increasing the burden of government, and so yes, it's understandable. They don't trust anybody who is either in Washington or is running to go to Washington. So the big challenge for Romney will be, if he wins, will he fulfill his promise to bring the burden of federal spending down from 25% of GDP to 20% of GDP? If he does that, I think he would be rewarded if he ran for a second term, much as Reagan was rewarded for making the hard choices to control spending last century.
Hadley, could Romney be successful at that?
I think it's very important, as Dan mentioned, that Romney stay away from these Washington, D.C.-based solutions. It's very easy in Washington. I think a lot of policymakers on both sides of the aisle get the idea, it's a little arrogant, that they know how to run something better than 300 million Americans know how to run something. And when it comes to economic policy, that's certainly the case. You know, central planning has been proven to fail over and over again. So if Romney can make the case that he believes in American individuals and their contributions, and all he wants to do is simply scale back the role of government into their lives, then I think that's really the winning message.
All right, winning messages, that's what we're looking for tonight. Dan, Hadley, and Wayne, stick around. We'll have much more analysis on the day's news next, and still to come as we await a judgment from the Supreme Court. A new report shows just how much Obamacare is hurting doctors, and you will have details. Stay with us.